Hey friends, welcome to Foodie Friday. This is where I go through the grocery store, taking some pictures to share some of the labels that I see, and then I share my thoughts with you. I'm Mira Dessy. I am known as the Ingredient Guru, and I love helping you understand what's in what we eat. Today, I happen to have a really fun set of food labels because I had a recent trip to London. And while I was there, I did visit a grocery store and found a few things. So I wanted to share what I saw and go through the label from there. So first I'm going to start by sharing my screen, and then we're going to hit play. Here we are. So this is just inside a grocery store. And as you can see, pretty much looks the same as what you might find here in the United States or in other countries. So it's just a grocery store, but it's fun to go through the labels for me. So this first product is a yogurt, and I wanted to share a couple of things about this. One is that it is a Greek style natural yogurt. So Greek style means it's thicker, and they do highlight by putting in bold if there are top allergens in there, same as we do here in the United States. So there is it says contains milk and suitable for vegetarians. So not vegans, but vegetarians. And they say it's made using British milk. One of the things that I thought was really interesting was that they had the pot is recyclable and the film is not. So they break it down for you so you know what you can and cannot recycle. So that was interesting. Another yogurt. So this is a coconut yogurt, meaning there is no animal product in it. It is not a dairy product. And one of the things I wanted to point out is we do have a lot of starch in here. So there's cornstarch and corn fiber and potato starch, as well as some fruit pectin for a stabilizer. And so this is one of those products where if you're someone who is sensitive to starch, or if you're consuming a lot of starches, it can cause some gut health issues. Sometimes consuming too much of it can cause constipation or possibly even diarrhea as your body is trying to process it. So just to be aware of that. And the next product that we have, this is a soy-based yogurt. And I am not a fan of soy. As it turns out, I did a little research. They do still use glyphosate in Great Britain. The ruling that I found said that it is approved for use through 2025. So it's still being used, which means if you're consuming soy, chances are high that you are getting glyphosate. So not a fan of that. And then I also am not a fan of some of the other ingredients that are in here. The citric acid, I don't know what the base is in Great Britain, but in the United States, it tends to be corn, which is another highly genetically modified product. And that means you're getting more glyphosate. So that's a challenge. And then again, we have to add in some stabilizers. There's also a lot of sugar in this one. Sugar is the third ingredient. So yeah, definitely. And water's the first ingredient. So you're buying yogurt, but you're mostly getting water. So definitely not something I'm a huge fan of. I want to just encourage you to think about that. The next thing we had, and literally I just picked as I was going through things that caught my attention. There's no particular reason why I'm choosing the things I am here. I was mostly looking for products that we don't have in the United States. So this is Weetabix, which is a breakfast cereal that they have over there. Apparently it's very popular. There's several different varieties. I just happened to take pictures of the crispy mini chocolate chip. So apparently Weetabix comes in a big biscuit, and you can get it in a little biscuit, and then you can get it in flavored biscuits. And when we look at it, it is a wheat-based product. It does have soy lecithin and flavoring in it. So not necessarily a great choice. Not sure what the emulsifier is. I will share that it was interesting to me because I had learned that a lot of Great Britain's labeling tends to use E numbers. However, I did not really see E numbers, so I don't know if that's something that they've shifted and they used to, or if my original source was wrong and they've never used E numbers. So if you know the answer to that and you want to leave a comment down below, I'd love to know how that goes. Next product, these were little potato chips. This was a snack bag of potato chips. And one of the things that I thought was interesting about this, they do use natural flavoring. You know, my favorite, not favorite, one of my favorite, not favorite ingredients, because it can mean anything. We have no idea what it is. This one happens to be a cheese and onion flavored potato chip. So it has buttermilk powder, onion powder, salt, cheese powder, which is from dairy, parsley, and then all of that is apparently not enough. They have to throw in some natural flavor on top of that. I would think that those other ingredients would be flavorful enough, but that's just me. I do like that for their antioxidant, they use rosemary extract. So that's definitely better than some of the chemical versions. So I'm a fan of that. Next is another potato chip. This is Pringles, and they had prawn cocktail flavor. Not something I've seen in the United States. Prawns are like shrimp, so this is like a shrimp cocktail. And when I looked at the ingredients, I'm not even going to bother to break that down for you. That many ingredients, the answer is no. So just skip that one. Next, ketchup. I loved seeing this ketchup. And actually, this was not at the grocery store. We went out to dinner and the ketchup was on the table. So I, of course, had to pick it up, turn it around. And I liked seeing that they had no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives, no thickeners. And so it's tomato spirit vinegar, which I meant to look up before I did this and did not. I'll find out what that is and get back to you. Sugar, salt, spice, and herb extracts. It does contain celery, and celery is in bold. I'm assuming that that is there because it is celery extract can be a nitrate, a natural form of nitrate. So it's just a warning item. Bold tends to be for allergens. And then spice. So I'm not sure why we have spice in there twice, but that's okay. So this is definitely a fairly clean ketchup. That was good to see. Next, another, this was also on the table at the restaurant. And in case you hadn't guessed, we were at a burger joint. So this is made with rapeseed oil. So rapeseed is canola. Because canola is a highly genetically modified product around the world, and because glyphosate is allowed Roundup is allowed in Great Britain, at least until 2025, and it may continue, may not. I would not recommend this because that means you're getting some allergens, water, spirit vinegar, sugar, salt, lemon juice concentrate, flavorings, which probably is not natural flavorings, but it doesn't say artificial. It just says flavorings. I didn't really dive into that because I wasn't going to eat this, but that's okay. Calcium disodium EDTA. I was sad to see that. Not a preservative that I'm particularly a fan of. And then paprika extract and sunflower oil. And then the next thing that we had, this was just something that I was excited to see. I thought it was really cool. It is apple juice, but I love that they came from different kinds of apples. You know, here in the United States, we don't tend to identify what kinds of apple it's coming from. And if we look, we can see that we have different colors because the apples are different and the flavor is going to be different. So this was just something that I thought was pretty cool. And I believe all it was apple juice. Did I not take, I did not take a picture. Oh no, there it is. Ingredients, apple juice and antioxidant, ascorbic acid. So not sure what the source of the ascorbic acid is. Sometimes it comes from a corn-based ingredient, sometimes it does not. But I still was excited to see that they had different kinds of apples used to make juice on the shelf. And so they're hopefully preserving their apple heritage a little bit better, which is kind of cool. And then the last thing that I have for you here were these eggs, which were not refrigerated. And over in Great Britain, I was talking to the person at the grocery store and they said, no, we don't need to refrigerate our eggs. We don't do the same things you do to them. So I don't know how they clean or process them, but it's in such a way that they are shelf stable and they just have them out. These were organic, free range eggs, lots of little information about the chickens that they came from, but it was kind of cool to see. So that was my quick spin through the grocery store. And hold on. There we are. Now I'm back. So that was my quick spin through the grocery store. It was kind of fun to see different food labels overseas. I enjoyed it, and I hope you had fun looking at these labels with me as well. If you are someone who lives in Great Britain and you want to share a label with me, or you want to share some information about some of the things that you folks do to your labels, I would love to know. So thanks so much, and I'm glad that you joined me. And I will put the link down below where you can share food labels as well, if you want my take on how to do a breakdown on a food label. Thanks so much, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.